Hey, everybody.
Hey,
We're back
wow.
after
We've
another long hiatus.
Not too long. These would come out. These would come out a week between each other.
Yeah.
So you'd get used to them.
nice.
Season 2's going along.
Okay, so you're going to make me a liar.
I'm not making you a liar. That's just some people are born like that.
Yeah, some people are born with it.
Yeah. Some people ain't got that dog in them to tell the truth.
Oh, wow.
We're gonna try to structure it a bit more. Riley, what we got for news? What we got for news?
Oh, we're structuring.
Oh, shit. Well, this is probably going to date this a little bit, but Big Donnie, prison,
yeah.
34 counts. Crazy.
Is it?
This is mostly not as dated because I'm sure that conservatives are still going to be freaking out about this all summer. He's getting arraigned. He's not arraigned, but he's getting charged on the July 11th. So got a little bit more of that sweet conservative copium.
What do you think's gonna happen?
Big Donnie's going to weasel his way out of this one.
I don't think he's weaseling his out.
What?
It is. He has to have no matter minimum probation officer. He can't leave the state of New York. He has to get explicit permission from his probation office and a board if he wants to leave the state of New York to do other things.
So,
he has to pay fines minimum.
Let's do this. Let's go from the top. You may know him. He's not that popular. Donald Trump, the last president that we had before.
Star of
Biden.
Home Alone 2.
Yep. Yes. Star of Home Alone 2.
He had that one TV show.
Yeah, The Apprentice.
Yeah.
It was middling.
Nah, compared to Home Alone 2.
Yeah, that was the big one.
Seeing Macaulay Culkin. Yeah.
Rubbing elbows with the greatest star of all time, Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
I feel
He
like
never reached
in a
those
different
heights ever
world.
again.
Huh?
You guys are in a different world. I don't.
You don't know any of this? Tim Curry,
Tim
right?
Curry.
Yeah.
Great.
That's such a good movie.
It's a
But
fun one.
anyway, Donald Trump, Donnie T, got 34 counts.
Yeah.
34 counts of
It is falsifying business records,
yeah.
basically. Yeah. He lied both on his taxes, on his documents, that on to where money was going. And it's like millions of
34
dollars.
separate times for the same thing?
No, not for the same thing. For different crimes that are all involve lying about your business and your finances.
It's like dealing with basically sending lies and not knowing where it is. The explicit thing is he did all this to swing his reputation for the 2016 election, kind of hushing it up so he doesn't so it didn't come out when it did. But they're mostly nailing his to the floor because he basically lies on his records and lied where that money was going, how much money he was spending, things like that.
And he was found guilty on all of the charges that were brought up, but also unanimously by the court, which is crazy.
Nuts. Even the Trump guys on that jury pool, they had a couple of people on that jury pool whose explicit statement was I only get my news from Truth Social and Fox News. And both of them were like, yeah, he's guilty as hell. Throw him away. Guilty as hell. Get him out of here.
Love him to death, but he's a criminal.
That's crimes.
crazy.
Wow, holy f***. Look at how many crimes he
When
committed.
your little dick sucks, don't even vouch for you.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah, your shooters are like, I'm not going to lie. He's guilty as hell.
Yeah.
The evidence speaks for itself. It's funny. He could theoretically see jail time. Theoretically. Probably not, but it's a theoretical. This isn't probably going to do nothing to stop his campaign. It is, however, extremely funny.
The other thing...
Because he's mad as hell. And he can't vote for himself.
The other thing, did you see him afterwards when he was walking out? He looked like he was crying.
Yeah, he was like, it's very unfair. I'm a political prisoner.
His face, his eyes were
did everything right and they indicted me.
I did everything right and they indicted. We're not getting that anymore, though.
Well,
we're not getting the swab. We're getting he's depressed now.
Well, the thing is, if you had 34 counts against you, I think I'd shed a tear. I think I'd shed 2 tears.
No, if I was that deep in,
you go slack.
If I was that deep in, I'm running it.
Yeah, you're like,
but he's not.
I don't care. I'm already dead. I'm going to jail.
Yeah, I'd be on the first ticket to the middle of nowhere though.
Because it's his indignation is funny as because he's gotten away with so many collar crimes with a slap on his wrist, and this is the first time that he's actually going to seriously actually have any real material effects on him, even if they're relatively small. Again, chances are all he's going to get is a probation officer, and he's got to go to the probation board in New York and get a written notice of like, this is where you are allowed to go and when you're allowed to go. And he's furious about that. This again, bare minimum. I'm pretty sure he could just get Alan Dershowitz or whoever to do that on his behalf.
Man, I have to do that with my mom all the time.
I'm telling you.
I got to do it for the state. It's like
I know.
Nothing.
Whenever we want to stay up late, I got to do that with my mom. I got to be like, Mom, I got
to fill out 17 pieces of paperwork. You know, I got to be like, hey, look, you
she
know,
makes me wash the dishes.
Drive over the border. She's like, oh,
I got to get a parole board together if I want to drink a singular can of White Claw. I got to pay for everything in cigarettes.
So that's just
I got to get Chase to put money in my commissary account if I want to buy ramen noodles.
That's true. Ooh. I'll do that. Don't worry. I got you. 99 cents, huh? Wouldn't that?
No, it's
gonna
those
be a shame?
like $10 ones.
Oh, I can't do what is it called?
I don't know what they
I was gonna say Shimagami Tensei.
Oh,
but that's
the
not,
Shin Megami Tensei noodle.
The one that I got from you guys, that was like the protein one. Oh my God, that was terrible. That was the worst thing I've ever eaten.
Those are usually really bad.
If you want to find out more about Donald Trump and his convictions or whatever he's got going on with them, just look up Donald Trump Rule 34 and you'll find out a lot more about the 34 charges that happened to him.
Like, just look, if you want to figure out if Donald Trump really affected our economy's inflation rate, look up Donald Trump inflation just to learn more.
Yeah, tag both of those together. Inflation and 34.
It's extremely funny also. All of his sons are like constantly going on Fox News like, Papa did not deserve this. Like each and every one of them, these awful little worms or whatever.
Like Willy Wonka, children and Willy Wonka.
There's a Fox News guy that was just like,
there's really not
Barron Trump is going to get his revenge on the system after this. I'm like, no, he's not, dude. All of his kids are freaks.
Barron like 20 years old?
Yeah, he's like a child. Like even if he decides the run, he's going to be the least charismatic dude ever. All of his sons are really charismatic
not
freaks.
A son of his that like just fucking hates his guts. There's not
one.
They all suck his dick because that's where the money is, right? But they're all uncharismatic, dead-eyed freaks. They're like weird little effete psychos, and they all have like some kind of addiction. Like Donald Trump Jr., most obvious, cocaine, all that stuff. But the rest of them are just like pilled to the gills on so many drugs.
Daddy, I need more money. My daddy is innocent.
Like, look, Dad, I'm going to be late to the Republican National Convention. They cut it with fat, Dad.
They do look British. You don't get that type of white person without 1,600 years of inbreeding. I'm just saying.
Yeah, they do look like the Habsburg dogs that we look back, but the white person version of the Habsburg
Barron's
dogs.
like 6'7". He's like an NBA center, and he just looks insane. Like he just looks like a little boy.
Like a stretched out It's like you took Donald Trump and like rolled him out with a rolling pin. That's all he looks like.
Yeah,
he looks like a dead center, like an absolute 1-to-1 of his dad in the younger years. But he still looks like a freak, dude. He doesn't look normal.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that normal human being face. He has that
very dead
freak
eyes.
face.
He's got very dead eyes too. I think you're onto something with not the normal face. Because when I look at him, I'm like this
dead eye. I should get some dead eyes.
I've been told I have kind eyes.
That's who said that?
You don't need to know.
I don't know what my eyes look like outside of weird blue. Yeah.
You got normal eyes. I can see into your soul when I look in them things.
Nice. It's good to know. The facade is working.
I'm looking at you. I don't see nothing when I look at you.
Yeah, I'm
stone cold.
I think I've had that happen to me before, where they're just like, "Yeah, you look like you don't want to talk to anybody."
You're going to go John Wick mode at any moment.
What? Oh, so Donnie T, July 11th, you said?
Yep, July 11th is when he's getting.
Ooh, right after the fireworks go off, huh?
Yeah. Right before 4 days before the Republican National Convention is when he's going to get officially. He's not like charged, but he's get his big conviction where they're going to tell him what the sentences are.
Wow.
God bless America.
You think it's going to be anything big?
Again, like I said, I don't think he's getting much beyond the parole board and a bunch of fines. Like they can fine him a shitload of money, But I think the most, since he is a convicted felon, he's gonna have to. No matter what he gets, he's already doing his series of like. So now they get to write motions, i.e., they try to get stuff knocked down, or pre-trial say, hey, consider on this charge specifically, maybe we knock that down and say lesser charge because of this and this and this circumstances, or the prosecution gets to say, specifically this charge needs to be way heftier because it's bad, and then he gets his official parole board hearing where he gets his officer. He gets told what he needs to do. Yeah. Like he needs to officially register a residence no matter what, and he can't stray from that residence. He's probably going to do Florida.
The worst part of this is that like the most annoying soy facers are gonna like annoy the hell out of you the entire time this is happening.
I don't know, man. I think Jeff Tiedrick, the most annoying man I know on Twitter, deserves to take a victory lap. This has been his bread and butter.
Yeah, he's been waiting for
8 years. So like he's been waiting. Give the boy
this is
a
like
drink.
The only thing that wouldn't annoy me, like this point.
If the only thing he gets is probation and minor fines, like pretty much
probation still slows him down.
And he's still a convicted felon.
What I'm saying is, it's literally still a victory lap for him. Like he got away with it. Like I don't think it matters.
He has 3 more.
This will count for those criminal trials because if it's like the one thing that this actually matters from now on is if he doesn't get elected, he's definitely going to prison.
Yeah.
Like for sure he's going to prison off the back of this because that shows a lot of intent. Like they can use this case and his conduct in the case and like his general conduct of his business and how he runs things as evidence and as a reference point in those other cases, which are much more serious.
And he already has other settlements that have been listed.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're very scary. The settlements that he's done, and I mean scary as in like, that's horrifying. Like there's one, I know this is early in, but where something happened between him and a woman. You can look that up. Him and a child. You can look that up. Like there are some weird cases that have been brought up. The fact that this guy even became president the first time was probably not a good idea for him because that just aired out his whole. Because
he
his
thought
criminal law.
It was just sort of like one of those things where I genuinely didn't think he thought it all the way through.
Yeah.
Like he gets gaslit by Bill Clinton into like taking the presidency. It's like, hey, Big Donnie, it'll be great. It'll be great for your image, buddy. And then he is president, and the only parts that he likes is that he gets to be catty and psychotic whenever he wants.
And that is the best part.
For 4 years, he doesn't get punished for anything he does. Like literally, the whole like, how's Big Donnie gonna wiggle out of this one, folks? Teflon Don shit is because like when he's the president, he doesn't answer to anybody. Yeah. He got like impeached for like he really should have been knocked off the presidency for like the quid quo pro shit with like Zelensky.
Yeah.
Unironically, probably did actually give Russia the space to wiggle in and did like a load of damage to Ukraine's defense and national security during that part.
Isn't that crazy?
Definitely should have been kicked out for that.
Doesn't he have another court date for selling information to other countries?
It's leaking, document leaking. So basically he took a bunch of nuclear secrets and shit he wasn't supposed to and stored them in a very easily accessible place. There's a lot of evidence that he showed state secrets to foreign agents. Like, you might be saying like, well, he didn't know that the Saudis were foreign agents. Like, all Saudi princes are foreign agents. If you're showing something to a Saudi Arabian prince, don't, because they are a foreign agent.
Like Desert
all
Shield.
Saudi Arabian prince, like they're not good. Don't
show it weird that
like
somebody who's impeached can run for president again?
Well, he has to be convicted to not, right? That's the issue with our impeachment system. Impeaching is the charge.
Yeah.
The trial is where he gets kicked out. And the trial gets sent to the Senate and not to a court.
I thought he got impeached.
No, that's what I'm saying. Impeachment is the charge. You officially are impeached. And then the charge is whether or not you are booted out of the presidency, and then if it is a federal offense during that charge is found, it's sent to a higher court. which is insane because the Ukraine thing definitely should have counted as treason.
Yeah, 100%.
You literally
started a literal front war between two countries.
That you can find the domino there.
Okay, but is that treason? I'm not sure if that's treason.
If you are taking a United States, you are throwing a United States ally under the bus in such a way that implies that you are
they're an ally
selling states' secrets to another place as well. I thought they were
both third parties.
No.
We have enough connection to Ukraine, especially with its electoral.
Because of how
also his impeachment for January 6th, right? Like the January 6th thing, right after the January 6th thing happened, he got impeached a second time.
Yeah,
he definitely probably should have gone to a higher court earlier than it does now. He's being charged for that, but it should have been sent way higher, I guess.
Just to wrap it up too.
Yeah.
Because we could talk about this literally a whole podcast. Yeah. Because this guy's
nuts.
Yeah, I mean,
it's funny, but also psychotic that our American legal system allows us to do this. He can still run for president as a convict. He can run for president in jail.
And I think that's probably...
He can be the president.
I think constitutionally that's a good thing to be able to run for president from a jail cell is probably a really good thing for democracy to exist. But at the same time, this is not the case. This is not what's happening.
This isn't like a Eugene Debs thing where this guy is being he's like an anarchist and he's trying to make things better. It's not like
he's not getting good numbers on the polls because he has good pay.
If you're running from a jail cell, it's essentially the same thing as not running, in my opinion.
You think he can't win?
Also, not Donnie in particular because he's got such a base already. I'm saying if you're running from a jail cell and you're a nobody.
It's to prove a point.
Yeah, it's literally just
it's a political statement. You're not going to win.
So it just
the real weird thing is that you can run from a jail cell as a convict but not vote.
Yeah,
that is
very strange that we take voting rights away from.
What if he won? Okay, now I know this is never gonna happen, but imagine a situation where Joe Biden wins the election by one vote, and it's Donald Trump's vote that would have been the one that changed it.
That would have been the fun. That is the funniest.
You can't vote for yourself.
Unironic,
yes,
you can.
You can?
Yes, you can vote for yourself.
What? That's crazy. I could have sworn
you can vote for yourself.
It's only
Donald Trump can't vote for himself anymore because he got convicted of a felony.
Imagine if it mattered. I don't know what state it would have to be. It would have to be a swing state that Donald Trump somehow lives in.
It would have to be folks, I've hired the dwarves of Isengard to move Mar-a-Lago to Pennsylvania, beautiful Pennsylvania, right outside of Pittsburgh, folks.
Wow.
All of it, palm trees and all, folks. It's at Mar-a-Lago of Pittsburgh.
They told me, folks, that there were beautiful mansions here and a lot of not mansions here. I'll tell you that. I didn't see a lot of mansions when I drove in. But the dwarves of Isengard, they said it would be fine. They'd place me right in the middle.
The Donald Trump clan home. The great clan homes of Donald Trump. They're not ever going to get a dragon in it, folks. They're never going to get Smaug. It's never going to move in, folks. It's going to be beautiful forever.
I took all of his gold. What did he say? He said, thank you.
They tell me, folks, don't dig too deep. And I told them, you can't dig too deep. There's nothing down there. It's only more gold, folks.
Let me tell
Balrog who? Not a thing. Not real. Fake news, folks. Dig deeper.
Donald Trump would definitely not be allowed into, what is it called? Rivendell? Yeah, he would be definitely exiled from Rivendell. He would not be allowed anywhere near there.
Would he be a human or would he be a...
What fantasy race is Donald Trump?
That's a good one.
I maintain Donald Trump is like a drow or something.
Well,
he's just a evil, conniving.
No, I think drow implies too much regality.
Yeah, that's
competence, maybe.
Well, no, intelligence. Yeah,
he's like a halfling.
He's got to be like a halfling, or he's got to be like a dwarf. He might be a dwarf.
He's like a pudgy mayor.
Oh, he's the guy from the human city that the dwarves have to go to in the middle of the water. They had to build in the water. Yeah, that's actually, he might just be a human. That's the worst crime.
That's the worst crime out of all of them.
Being in a fantasy.
And you're stuck at being a human.
You're in a fantasy.
I can't think of a worse.
It's like the people who pick human warrior.
Also, alternatively, Donald Trump is a kobold. Because he's just this tiny little rat thing that loves to steal stuff. He's definitely, if he's in the Warhammer Fantasy universe, he's a Skaven. Donald
Get
Trump
away
is a
from my
Skaven
candle.
for sure.
Get away from my candle, folks. I know it's a beautiful flame. Too close, folks.
Folks, we've got to get the warp stone. Folks, the warp stone, we're building a beautiful, beautiful undercity underneath outdoor, folks. Very beautiful. They say that we can't do it, but Carl Franz, he's a lightweight. He's not Sigmar, folks. He's not Sigmar.
Look.
He's a lightweight. He barely can lift the Sigmar's hammer. He's not a threat to us, folks.
What's the other stuff that has been happening in life? Because I haven't been on the internet in a while because I've been busy.
There's a lot. I've got a funny one that Maxie found funny, so I wanted to run this one by you. Local furry convention, Furrydelphia, has a car show that they have banned Teslas from after banning Cybertrucks, then getting death threats and deciding, actually, if you bring a Tesla, you're banned from the con. To which I would say, imagine being so unlikable, furries ban you from something.
Furrydelphia?
Yeah, Philadelphia. It's a car
they have
show.
Furries in Philadelphia with car shows?
Yes.
Like, so you're telling me
it's a car show.
So these guys come in like what? Like low riding, and they got like like E40 on the radio.
Crazier than what I just thought it was a furry convention.
No, it's mostly known as a car show.
Car show. That's crazy.
And they banned Cybertrucks.
When is this?
That's in August.
I'm not.
I would. We unironically probably with it. That'd be funny.
I want to go, but
dude.
It's a 4-day one. You could zoom in, do it a day trip.
Yeah,
take pictures, torture Maxie.
We do a podcast episode.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Philadelphia. It's called.
But anyway, they banned all Cybertrucks because they're like
the Furcast.
That'd be funny. Yeah, that's a good one. So this is a heater idea, but they banned Cybertrucks, and like again. Cybertruck owners are like, how dare you, I'll shoot you, and like literally
like the dog you are.
yeah it's like the
oh my god, I can't.
Pink rabbit you are. I don't know. Look, I'm gonna bring my gun to the furry convention.
How,
they're like, no, actually, we're banning all Tesla owners because I hate you.
That's crazy. That's great.
It's crazy how like annoying they are.
What Teslas?
Tesla owners. Like.
Yeah.
How do you own a car? Like, how do you go out of your way to buy a car and intentionally break your finger on like?
That was the craziest one. Is this? Did you see that one?
Mm-hmm. Where they were putting like carrots and stuff, and then one guy puts his actual finger in it?
and it breaks his finger.
I'm pretty sure there's more than one guy who did it.
Yeah, the what is like the trunk challenge, because they're trying to prove that it doesn't cut off your finger. But like that's the most insane part of it is like you were so confident in the build of your car. It's like if someone tells you don't do this or you're going to lose a limb, usually you say, "Oh fuck yeah."
Well, like
I shouldn't do it. I might lose a limb. But this guy's like, no, the concern is your finger is gone. Your fucking finger no longer exists. And this guy's like, that's not happening. I'm built different.
He loses his finger, break it.
He broke it.
Okay, so he has to have his pen. He has to have a pen in his finger to reassemble the bones in his finger.
Yeah. It's like he comes back with another video of him in like a finger cast. Like, well, folks, it appears that you should really not do the trunk challenge. I love my Tesla though.
I have seen. I am tapped into music, and I'm listening to. I read a bunch of like music blogs a lot, and apparently this is similar. You remember Iggy Azalea, correct?
Yes.
No.
I'm So Fancy song. I'm so fancy.
Probably not, but anyway, continue.
Okay. She came out with her own coin,
like a Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them did do that.
It's called S-Mother. It's called $Mother.
What's the $sign stamp for?
That's like what all of them. Yeah. All cryptocurrencies they all start with a $sign as a hash address.
Isn't that just like? That's insane that she comes back to the. Like she hasn't released
like she's late to the party by 2 years.
It's gotta be like, but the dumbest guys are eating it up. You know what I mean? Like it's probably up there.
The thing about it is it's like, well, it is probably up because crypto is up. Like all Bitcoin is up because the SEC basically allowed
backed it. Mm-hmm.
They haven't backed it, but they've allowed equity funds to trade in it easier. It's not you can package it with other securities now, but like in service of nothing, right? Unlike if you're putting money into S&P 500, you're doing that because those are real companies that might be able to give you money. If I put $500 into Apple at least releases stuff, right? Like it goes up and down based on decisions that Apple make. Bitcoin goes up and down based on nothing. There's no use case for any cryptocurrency outside of crimes. You might know Iggy Azalea from me showing you the meme of her rapping on Sway in the morning, and then somebody calls in, a caller calls in, like, "Oh, this is Jack from Tennessee. What do you have to say, Jack?" And he goes, "Yo, that's trash. Get that shit off the airways, dog." Like it's unironically, I do recall one of the best hip hop moments of all time. Funniest shit ever. Yeah, you can't no wonder she hasn't released jack shit. Oh my god,
I don't know. Like it's just.
Like celebrity coins used to be huge 2 years ago, but
it's just weird. It's just weird that like somebody who's like absent from music, has a child, comes back. The first thing they do is like sell their soul to like Bitcoin or like.
I mean, it makes sense.
Crypto guys are like so
dumb to do it.
Well, it's not dumb. Well, I mean, yes, it's dumb, but like it's like devoid of any real thought.
Yeah, they just want the number to go up. That's it.
Well, they just
want to check out.
I got a car. I think it's cool, even though it looks like a trapezoid for no reason, and it can kill me, and it's proven to kill other people. But it will never do that. What's wrong with you? It's people that think they're smart. I'm not lying to you. This is the glass onion effect. This is the Knives Out effect. It's people with money who are like, I love technology and tech culture. I'm going to be a part of it. It doesn't even it's not something like graphics cards or even like scalping stuff.
No, because that requires actual knowledge. That requires knowing how to install a graphics card. That requires spending money to use a computer.
Most of these people don't interact with the technology.
Don't even know how to drive a car. I just don't.
Everybody knows how to drive a car.
No. What I'm saying is trucks. They don't. They do stuff with their Cybertrucks that normal trucks would not do. You don't. A lot of people who buy these things don't know how to use them because that is a very specific skill set and being taught how to drive off-road, right?
Did you see the one where they buffed the entire car and it became reflective instead of the dull gray that it has? So it was literally mirrors shining off each other.
Gloss on the top or something?
No, they just buffed it normally because it's stainless steel.
Oh my god!
You can buff it out.
It's only stainless steel.
It's only stainless steel. There's no gloss. There's no treatment. There's no nothing. The panels will rust if you are in an area with high salt water content, like Santa Monica or something like that. Your car will rust.
That's why it has such a bad
It's just stainless steel.
It's literally just steel hitting each other.
Oh my god! It's going to demolish people.
Panels too on a frame, right? There's basically no protection from this ever.
There's no crumple zone.
It's literally
nothing.
Straight sheet metal.
Every time they get into accidents,
that should be a crime. That should actually be a crime.
Also, how the axles and the steering works, the steer by wire works. Anytime you get into an accident, it's a total. Because you can't repair that.
Yeah, you got to do a whole new frame.
Scrap the whole thing.
That's cool. I didn't know it was just stainless steel. I thought it was panels on top of crumple zones.
No.
Oh,
there's a video of
that's actually
Tesla,
that should be illegal.
Again, this isn't it's even more up than that. This thing didn't really pass any of the tests.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember when they were doing the original Teslas, they lied. About
because it's not a full release car. It's like a prototype. And there's a video of them getting into a crash and both of the wheels, because of the steer by wire failing and both of the wheels doing this rapidly in midair. Because that was the steer by failing spectacularly in the crash. So suddenly the wheels are doing this.
So there's no control over the car.
No, you completely, the minute you hit something, hard enough to like activate a crumple zone, the steer by is gone.
Is the steer by wire? Does that go through like the axle at all, or is that in the system itself?
So it's by wire, meaning it's basically like an fully electronic. There's no there's no like column or anything like that for the steering. It's fully controlled by like a computer tilt system.
And it's in the top, like as if it was a rotor.
It's like I don't know how it fully works, but it's the whole the system has multiple failure points because of how the car is designed.
Yeah,
that's like,
so there's no way to like really, once you get into a crash, you completely lose control of the car.
Like when you think about like how like the Corvette or whatever is like a death trap, but this is literally like you get hit and you're.
I mean, the things with the old ones was like a lot of how it was designed was just industry standard back then. That's not because they were inherently bad designs. Like they didn't not have crumple zones because they were like, no, it looks cooler like this.
Yeah,
they didn't have crumple zones because they didn't know.
Yeah, there was so many better ways of like making cars, and they almost immediately did, right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Yeah,
there's a really old story of like the original guy, I don't remember his first name, but Honda, the actual Honda, the guy, on Ford and GM, and basically being like, you guys don't know what you're doing. Like, you could make this car more efficient and safe. And then they were both like, well, let's see you do it, you idiot. And then he did it. And they're like, with two of their vehicles, making them more safe and efficient and easier to drive, and then destroyed both of those cars.
Yeah.
And it was like, I've done it. Destroys both of the cars, walks away, and then they're like
presses a button and like a bomb falls and blows them up in front of them.
They scrapped both of those fucking cars almost immediately after they did the test drive, like that. Basically, Honda's big tour of the United States, going like to every U.S. car manufacturer.
I'm telling you, you get in a Honda Civic right now, 2023 Honda Civic right now, you drive that thing around, it feels like you're driving in a spacecraft. That thing is not just a car. You're in a
and it's funny because that's what feels like everything involving Elon Musk is. Instead of just actually going back to the drawing board and realizing that what you're doing sucks ass, you go to Joe Biden and get him to outlaw Chinese electric cars.
The thing with Elon, though, is that he gets a bad idea in his head and then just like
it's
fucking
perfect.
Sticks to the. It's like renaming Twitter to X. Like he's wanting to have a business name X like for forever, and he doesn't realize it's a bad idea
because they're all narcissists and they're not smart, and they're not. And they can get away with not being smart because they have smart people surrounding them, or what they're doing is fundamentally kind of easy. A lot of finance guys are like that, where it doesn't take a lot to understand the ins and outs of these systems.
You see this in real estate.
That
where
too,
these people like it's not
car
hard.
sales.
The idea,
used car sales.
Have you seen the real estate people giving advice to people, and they're literally being like, do fraud? Like,
literally.
Like they're
there's entire courses that are basically dedicated to be like, you know what? I saw an advertisement that was how to turn your property into glamping, basically. Like glamping, glamorous campsites and stuff. Illegally zone your property to be glamping campsites.
I wonder what problems you could run into with that. And like, I'm just saying. I'm just saying too. Like these, like they'll be like, there's one guy who goes up to cars and he asks them, "How did you make your money?" And they say, "Oh, I'm a salesman and I'm in real estate." And they go, "Well, how did you get like your initial break?" And then the guy's like, you just gotta promise things. Even if you can't deliver it, you gotta make that promise right then and figure it out later. I instantly said in my head, that's fraud. You are defrauding. You are telling people that you can't deliver a product to them right now, but you'll say you can and then figure it out. Well, what happens when you don't? You go to jail. You get fined. You go to jail because that's a crime. And he's telling like kids this. He's telling like 16-year-olds like, "Hey man, you got to take my course and I'll tell you exactly how to do it. You got to say you have money even though you don't. You got to under-deliver on every promise, and you got to promise as much as you can to everyone you know for money, for that initial capital." And I'm like, you're insane. You're insane. Welcome.
Going on of like what Maxius says, there's entire services dedicated to setting up pyramid scheme cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
Like, and they tell you how to do a pump and dump pyramid scheme up front.
Yeah.
Right? They tell you, Maxi, we're gonna make max coin. We're gonna make smug coin. Smug coins going to the moon. Here's how you pump smug coin. And here is when you should. This is exactly when you, Maxi, should do the pump of the pump and dump pyramid scheme for smug coin. This is when you, Maxi, and your associates should sell smug coin. They'll just tell you how to do it.
Yeah.
Because it's all gambling. And there's no regulations on half of this crap. So you feel smarter than you are.
Yeah.
Because you make money off of these suckers.
Well, and I mean, like, that's like Tesla's entire community base is like off of people who are involved in the tech community and want to try out the new tech product.
I had a Tesla guy.
Yeah.
There's a Tesla charging station outside of the Sheets that I stopped by to like change my oil or whatever. And I'm like filling oil up in my car or whatever, you know, just kind of putting it in there. I'm this like rich Tesla moron, like real estate guy, like 10 out of 10, like country hick real estate guy, you know, full South Carolina Guido attire, like, man, I don't miss using having to do that in my car. Glad I got electric. And goes back in, and I'm like, yeah, this is the time. I'm like, that's a Tesla guy right there. Just very self-congratulatory, smarter than you kind of.
Yeah.
So they didn't steal the copper from inside of the charging station?
No, I don't think they did. No,
I would have.
They would have been, if they were more entrepreneuring, they would have, but I don't think they did. I
don't know what the end goal is going to be here. Like, people are just driving around fully metal sleds of like 2 tons.
Yeah,
like,
I just don't get
ready to kill you.
Yeah, like that's going to
looks good.
Every accident it's going to be in has got to be like an actual lawsuit that goes back to Tesla.
All of them have been recalled too.
Well, it's just it's also
so it's like none of them actually work.
So people have been breaking their fingers to prove that it doesn't chop your finger off, it just breaks them.
Yeah.
Like
it's constant unending copium of this stuff. You can go on any like Tesla owners forums or like Tesla owner like basically troubleshooting forums, and it's the same story over and over again. It's like these cars are made like shit and they're constantly breaking down because they weren't built to last, kind of like cars in the 1950s, and they're all coping because they're like, no, it's the greatest car ever because it's got Elon Musk's name on it.
Me when I pull out a Nintendo cartridge for a Nintendo 64, no, it's fine, all you gotta do is and then you bang it a couple times and you're like, no, see, it was perfect, I loved it, it's so great, technology's so great here.
But even dumber. It's like, no, you see your steer-by-wire failing abruptly when you hit that speed bump. That's good. Your brakes almost failing when you tried to avoid hitting that child. That's great. You not being able to see anything because it has huge blind spots. That's a part of the design. Elon's a genius.
I love it when I got to get the expansion pack for the Donkey Kong game. I love paying more money for the same game.
They do charge you for a lot of the expanded features in Tesla.
My ass, I can't say what I'm thinking.
They have DLC for your car.
I will be judged.
They literally throttle how fast your car charges. You have to pay more for your car to charge at its intended charging speed.
Honestly, if you want a Tesla and you get one, you deserve it.
You do.
I'm just saying, you deserve
such a insane scam. And it's crazy to see like people like tricking these things out and getting paint jobs and all this other stuff, and these rich people unironically doing it. It's like, this is just a rich guy icon thing, and these guys are all morons.
I don't care. You can like how it looks. I think that's fine. You can be like, it's cool looking though, but like
that's not why
you buy cars,
right? I think it's sad because like it's
not why you buy a car as a working class man.
The overarching thing of it is like they think that they're in an in group with people that like relate to them. So they like buy Tesla products and cars.
And then they also do the thing where they say, I'm saving the world.
They're like a loser their entire lives. And they don't realize that maybe it's themselves that needed to change. And instead, like, I don't know. It just seems something like along
very
those lines.
desperate.
I did see this Twitter thread that was like the hardest reads of all time. That might be up there, what you just said. I might clip that and then put it up there.
Well, I mean, it's just like
just the loser who's never had any friends, and you just wanted to be in an in crowd, and you'll never get there no matter how hard you try. So you spend all your money to buy a death trap, and then you wander around the city in your death trap, and then your finger gets broken into 3 places.
Or you decide to buy a car to be a contrarian, basically.
Well, yeah, it's literally
the Kanye West.
Yeah, that's like the only reason to do it is to like just be like, oh no, this car is actually fine, or it's just because like, oh, I want to be cool like these guys and have them respect me. And it's just like, well, they're not going to respect you even if you own the
just
car.
Like my hero Elon Musk,
like
because they're all that dumb. Like you appreciate people like Elon Musk or Joe Rogan because you are as stupid as they are.
It's kind of like when you have like a common interest with somebody and like it's like, oh, you're a patrician, you like this but it's like real life instead of like on the internet.
Yeah,
and kind of ironically.
I talked to Ryan about this on the way here because I thought it was interesting how like there are people like because he's getting the shirt from the jacket from
Disco Elysium
Disco Elysium, and I was like, yeah, that's cool because it's not like I direct I like this thing, and you can wear that and people can be like, oh, nice jacket, but like
tasteful looking.
But I think a lot of people don't have that like that processing power in their mind to be like, maybe I shouldn't just be a walking advertisement for what I like, because enjoying it doesn't equal like consumption, I guess, at that point.
I mean, I guess
and
you get
like
that
being in
with a
group.
lot of people where like you can't even critique things that they like because they get so offended because it's a part of their personality at that point.
Yeah, that's true.
I think it's more pathetic when like it's like you like that because it's like for consuming like Star Wars and you're like, I actually like Star Wars quite a lot or whatever.
Glorp.
Yeah, Gulp Shido is my favorite character, etc. I think that like that is at least like, okay, this is emotionally resonant to you.
Yeah.
I think it's more pathetic when you are a bag holder for that thing. Like you're defending it because you're in too deep. You can at least make an argument for something like, say, you don't like the Glass Onion movie or whatever stuff, or like Knives Out or whatever, you're like, okay, well, it didn't resonate with me. And I might say, well, I kind of liked, I thought it was kind of funny, thought the performances were good, blah, blah, blah. And then you have a disagreement or whatever, or you're an internet guy and you have a frothing, like, I get really angry for no reason. But what I'm saying is at least that has a merit to it.
Yeah.
You can at least be like, I like it because of this meritocratic reason.
Yeah.
Instead of Cybertruck, where this is the car designed to kill you, but I love it because other people don't like it.
I feel like there's a...
sorry, I was going to interrupt this.
Go.
Oh, I was going to say, do you think that a watermelon could easily be chopped in half by the trunk?
Yeah.
Probably.
100%.
There is a feature.
Yeah.
No, chopped in half because the trunk does not have it does not have a stop. If they discussed this, by default, the trunk will try to close harder on your finger. The motor will try to rev harder to keep closing because it is assuming that there is a mechanical fault with the motor and not that there is something blocking the trunk. So if you were to put a watermelon there, it would probably try to chop that watermelon in half.
I'm going to go back to 2003 really quick. This is going to get really dark. That's crazy, ain't it? Because if it's going to chop a watermelon... The only reason why
I don't think there's any more kids or people is because the only people who own these things are
have sex.
Losers and don't have sex. Like, they don't have kids. Their kids are not going to be in this car, right? They're either really young, like Mr. Beast, or they're like 80. They're like 53-year-old divorced dads
I want to go
who just want their cool cyberpunk truck or whatever.
Yeah. Like, I want to go back to that part where it's like these people have merit in their like of stuff or whatever like that. I don't even want to say that for like these kinds of people where like if they're a Tesla guy and they like, say, Star Wars, they don't actually have a merit in liking Star Wars. Like they're not a normal person.
I would agree with that.
I think it's more like a
I was more referring to like normal human beings.
Yeah.
I have a merit there,
I was more like I'm airing this right now. There's a very clear, distinct difference between somebody who has watched something and likes certain aspects of something, even if they can't articulate it properly, than something like a Tesla guy watching Star Wars and being like, yeah, I love Star Wars. As soon as you question them on anything, they wouldn't understand what the fuck to say. 100%. Like,
yeah, I mean, this goes back to like the age-old like first season of the podcast when we talked about consumerism and just like the mindlessness of like,
I love RoboCop. I love the part where Robo is cop.
What are you talking about? Star Wars isn't about the Vietnam War. It's just about the Wookiees. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? The Millennium Falcon isn't a reference to anything. It's a cool ship.
That's damn true. So, aside from God, I can't believe the furries banned them though. That's so good. Imagine getting
so funny, and imagine getting mad about it. You weren't going to go to that car show anyway, but you're frothingly, psychotically mad because these people you view as subhuman dare to say, actually, I don't want to hang with you.
Yeah, actually, you guys aren't cool enough to hang with the furries.
Like,
that's awesome.
I literally don't get why you'd be mad if your intent wasn't even go. Like, what does it matter? It's like, oh, somebody threw a pot shot at me. Who cares?
And that's kind of like also sort of standard car shows anyway. If it's just like, this is what we're going for as a car show. If I'm saying I want a classic car show, don't bring your 2018 Lamborghini to my car show.
Lowriders, like, you got
like hot rods,
like Houston types where it's like big rims on it, like slow ride.
I saw one that was like a really big one in Radford that was like anything up to 1980, like 88, 89 or whatever was acceptable, because it's like anything that can get an antique plate, you can do it. And there was like a guy who showed up with like one of the OG Toyota Camry, like the really cool fucked up angular ones, and that was the sickest shit. It was like shiny and new, and everyone was like gawking over it, and like it was like all the like weird redneck dudes in Radford were like, hell yeah, brother, that's sick. I ain't never seen one of these in real life before. And like, because it was like old, and those are really fucking hard to find in America, at least. Brand new and in really good condition. And like, I can only imagine a Tesla guy rolls up to like a car show and is like Elon Musk wrap around Tesla Roadster or whatever to like the classic car show, being like, how dare you try to ban my car? Like, no, they specified classic cars up to 89.
Also, these people will never go to a convention outside of their house.
Tangent here.
That their mom invites them downstairs to join. Go ahead.
Isn't it kind of crazy? Like, I don't know if it's just because we like live in America or whatever. Every single like product that like exists in my brain, that's like, obviously there's worse ones, but like major dealers or whatever for cars and stuff outside of the United States just clear everything in the United States, no matter what it is.
Very easily,
It's Camry, so great.
Toyota Camry, drive it for work, amazing.
I love my old Toyota Camry.
I watched a video about a Chinese like SUV, and like going through all of the lights and like all the features, and it could do a U-turn in place and stuff like that. And I'm just sitting there like, yeah, every single time, no matter what it is, car, like TV, like a computer, the parts and services, and just
when
like
they
quality.
did one of the electric cars, the Toyota was putting out was a electric concept car, based off of one of the old Toyota ones or whatever, shaped like the Toyota ones, but with like better bells and whistles and stuff like that, and like a lot of really cool analog put in, and I'm like, you could never make that in the United States. They would they'd lose their goddamn minds. They're allergic to that shit.
I don't even know what it is outside of just like quality control and like refusal to spend money on
I think it's quality control.
It's mostly quality control, and it's like for America, it's you have a fast turnaround, and you can't do a fast turnaround if you don't make everything out of plastic. And they don't want you to have this car for 10 or 20 years. Yeah, it's the plastic that starts to melt in your hands after 10 years or something like that. They don't want these cars to last for 10 or 20 years because Well, I mean, then they can't sell you a new, 2025 Toyota small mega truck or whatever.
That's a feature.
Yeah, it's made with the penis lengthener.
Yeah.
Free,
Yeah.
free extension right there.
Yeah, it actually shrinks it though.
Ooh.
Oh
It's
no,
like
it's true. After 10 years, it's true.
Yeah,
It's
the micro adjuster. That's
the
what it's called.
shrink
The
array,
micro.
Havana syndrome, but only for shrinking your dick. Now available with the
would
Dodge
be
Ram.
Crazy if there was a sound wave that shrunk your dick.
There is. It's a Toronto girl talking. Shorty's just blopping and blurping. Okay, all right. Sorry. All right. On that note, how long are we?
49 minutes.
Yeah, I'm
That's
good
good
with that.
All right.
Yeah.